It happens every single time. The conversation ends, you walk away, and then it starts. Why did I say it like that? Did they think I was weird? That joke didn't land. Did I offend them? You replay the entire interaction frame by frame, like you're analyzing footage of a crime scene. Except the crime is your own social performance, and the jury is your brain, and the verdict is always guilty of being awkward. If you've ever spent 2 hours dissecting a 3-minute conversation, wondering if you said thanks too enthusiastically or not enthusiastically enough, this is for you. Because what you think is overthinking is actually your brain running a threat detection algorithm on social data. And it's not a bug, it's a feature, a painful, exhausting, relentless feature. Let me show you what's actually happening. Most people finish a conversation and move on. Their brain files it under done and forgets about it. But your brain? Your brain treats every conversation like an incomplete task. It scans for errors. It searches for micro-expressions you might have missed. It asks, did I say something wrong? Did I damage the relationship? Am I safe here? That's not neuroticism. That's something called social perfectionism. And it comes from a very specific place. Here's the science. People who overthink conversations usually have high levels of something called rejection sensitivity. Your brain has learned somewhere, at some point, that social mistakes equal danger. Maybe you grew up in an environment where tone mattered more than words, where saying the wrong thing had consequences, where you learned to read every shift in energy, every facial flicker, every silence. So now, your brain does what it was trained to do. It monitors, obsessively, because missing a signal once meant getting hurt. But there's another layer most people miss. Overthinkers aren't just analyzing what they said. They're analyzing what the other person said, didn't say, almost said, might have meant. You're reverse engineering entire emotional landscapes from a single ha-ha text. That's not paranoia. That's hypervigilant empathy. You're so tuned into other people's emotional states that you can't turn it off even when the conversation is over. And here's where it gets painful. You think everyone else is doing this too. You think they're at home replaying your words, judging you, finding you lacking. But they're not. They've already forgotten. And that's the gut punch, isn't it? You're torturing yourself over an interaction they've completely moved on from. The spotlight you think is on you? It was never even turned on. Let's talk about what this does to your relationships. Because here's the paradox. Overthinkers are often incredible communicators. You think deeply about your words. You care about impact. You notice subtleties others miss. But that same skill becomes a prison when you can't stop auditing yourself. You start editing in real time, filtering, suppressing, and eventually you're so in your head during conversations that you're not even present anymore. You're performing, and the person you're talking to can feel it. Now here's the shadow nobody talks about. Sometimes overthinking isn't about the conversation at all. It's about control. If you're replaying the interaction obsessively, analyzing every variable, convincing yourself you can figure out what went wrong, you're trying to control an uncontrollable thing, other people's perceptions. And that's the trap. Because no amount of mental gymnastics will tell you what someone else is actually thinking. You're solving a math problem with missing variables. It's unsolvable by design. But here's what you need to understand. Your overthinking isn't proof that you're broken. It's proof that you care, maybe too much, maybe in ways that hurt you. But the instinct underneath it, the desire to connect well, to not cause harm, to be understood, that's not pathological, that's human. You just need to recalibrate the volume. So here's your new framework. You're not too much in your head. You're a conversational analyst. You're not overthinking. You're processing. And the goal isn't to stop thinking about conversations. It's to build a timer. Give yourself 5 minutes to replay it. Then close the case. Because here's the truth. If you said something genuinely harmful, they'll tell you. If you didn't, the only person suffering is you. Next time you catch yourself spiraling, ask this: is this thought helping me grow, or is it just punishing me? If it's the second one, let it go. Not because you're dismissive, but because you've already done the work. You're not overthinking, you're just thinking without an off switch. And that's fixable. Subscribe if you want psychology that actually explains you. Up next, the psychology of people who need to sit in their car for 10 minutes before going inside, because yeah, that one's deep too. You're not broken. You're just calibrated for a world that no longer exists, and now you get to recalibrate.